Worst loss of the season. You can take the 13 runs they've allowed, the 16 run games that they have allowed. You're up 5-0, and then you don't get another run after the third inning until what, the ninth to tie it up, and then that grand slam. 10-6 Dodgers, as we welcome you to Phillies Postgame Live, presented by our friends at Cure Auto Insurance. They're now back to 2 games below 500, 15-17, 4 straight losses. Ricky Bottalico, Ruben Amaro Jr. Rube, let me start with you, because you said when we came in here, it did not look good for the Phillies, and they still had the lead at the time.
Yeah, I was really disappointed in the fact that they just did not add on. I mean, they literally had 3 base runners after the third inning until the ninth, when they tied it up finally. When you're up on a team like the Dodgers, you're up 5-0. You got to put the pedal to the metal, man. And they did not do that and allowed them to the Dodgers to creep back in. They've swung the bat very well in this series. They've gotten hot, and when the LA Dodgers get hot, look out. And that's exactly what happened. It let them creep in. So many things to unpack that I didn't care for on the side of the Phillies today, and it wasn't just pitching. It was a variety of things. It was, for me, it was some poor outfield play, some poor defense.
How about corner infield? Ricky Bo and Mundo Sosa, his 5th error of the season. It's a 2-run error. And really,
did they give that an error?
No, they didn't. I'm calling it an error. Ed Munson, where are you? Ed Munson, who is the official scorer of the game. That's an error. You
call it whatever you want. He should have caught the baseball. I mean, this is the major leagues. I don't care how hard a ball is hit. These guys got to get in front of it. You got to catch the baseball. The ball was hit directly at him. There's no doubt in my mind that this ball has to be caught. And Sosa, it just went by him. I mean, to me, that's one of those things that you can't really explain. It just got by me. Whether he didn't see it, whether it was bright, I don't know. But catch the ball.
Yeah. Let's go out to Dodger Stadium and check in with Ben Davis, who called this afternoon's game with Tom McCarthy. Ben, add what you can. The bottom line is I think it is the worst loss of 32 games of this still young season, although they are 20% gone now. It's getting late early. What do you think of this one after a 5-0 Phillies lead was frittered away?
It was a mess, Michael. They got to clean some stuff up, because they found a way to lose a ball game today, and that can't happen. Yes, there's a good ball club. They swing the bats well, but again, they found a way to lose a ball game instead of finding a way to win it. It looked pretty good there in the ninth inning, coming back with 2 outs. I like to see that fight in them, but there's so many different aspects of this series that they need to clean up, whether that be defense, hitting the cutoff man, just basic execution, runners in scoring position. We've been saying that all year. But it's just one of those things that they got to clean things up, or they're going to find themselves looking up throughout the course of the season.
Ben, why does it seem like every time Aaron Nola has a big lead or a good lead that he goes out there and he just does not look like the same pitcher, the aggressive type pitcher that we like to see? And it seems as though it's almost like I go out there and I have to give up some runs to make myself comfortable. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, he gave up the 4 runs today in the 6th and the 3rd. He just didn't have the finish on his pitches today. The curveball was kind of rolling up there. He didn't throw a whole lot of cutters, which that's fine by me. The changeup was okay. He started to go that changeup a little bit more later in the game. The problem I have, Ricky, and I know it's not all velocity, but he's throwing 90, 91. His changeup's like 87. That's not a big discrepancy between the 2 pitches. And I'm not saying that velocity is everything, but when he was 94, 95 last year, it made his other pitches that much better. There's a big difference between 90 and 95, or 94 even. And he doesn't have that finish on his pitches. His sinker's not moving a ton, and it just doesn't. He did have some finish on his pitches in Houston. He threw the ball well. That's a very right-handed laden lineup they have down there in Houston. But he just didn't seem to have the finish on his pitches, like he was out there trying to invent stuff, trying to feel himself out there, because it just wasn't working.
Ben, talk about a little bit about how important it is to have good outfield play, especially in this day and age when the ball is put in play in the air almost all the time now.
Yeah, it's so many balls were hanging. They look like punts in this series, hanging up in the air. And I don't know if it's just positioning or we're just not quick enough to get to those balls, but some of these balls need to be caught. And it just seemed like they were an awful lot of hang time out there. And again, could be positioning, and we know that the Schwarber plays really far off the line, as does Castellanos. They have the scouting reports; they have to stick to them. But where's the give and take? There's got to be a little bit of give and take. Hitting the cutoff man, we saw what Mookie did to Brandon Marsh last night. I mean, you're taught as an outfielder, get the ball back into the infield. It didn't happen last night. Missing the cutoff man, allowing these guys to get extra base hits. We saw that in the 8th inning. The ball was hit out to left field. Rojas goes to third. Schwarber throws it to third. It allows Outman to get to second base. If you go to second base, you keep that double play in order, having first and third there with one out. They can change the course of innings. And these guys, again, things that need to be cleaned up.
Yeah, I don't know if they're not taught. I don't know if they don't know it, but it really turned out, as you said at the beginning, Ben, to be a big mess today. Thank you, my friend. Safe home. We'll talk to you next week. Ben Davis joining us from Dodger Stadium.
And if you're a scout and you're watching, or you're an advanced scout, then you're looking out over the plate all the time. His fastball is always away to a righty. His fastball is always away to a left-hander. And if you have that in your mind and you know that, and you know these are not dum-dums. These guys know the game and they have good scouting reports. You're going to be leaning out there, and that's exactly what Chris Taylor did. And it's exactly what Max Muncy did there to end the game.
Should Gregory Soto have been up for Muncy lefty on lefty versus the right-handed Kimbrel against the left-handed Muncy? And I'm not done with the left and right.
You have to pitch to 3 guys, so I have to go back and take a look at it.
He was past 3 because he gave an intentional walk to Freeman.
Possibly.
Right.
I mean,
so Taylor, Betts, Freeman.
Yeah,
Smith walks.
My whole theory
4.
on this is that Rob Thomson looks at things a little bit differently than we do. I think he has a category with Sir Anthony, with Alvarado, and with Kimbrel that I really believe that his theory is that they can get anybody out. Righties, lefties, doesn't matter. But you're in a weird situation to bring a left-handed reliever in there, too. If there were 2 outs, I definitely would have made the switch.
All right, how about this with regard to left-right? Edmundo Sosa. Maybe Cody Clemens plays first base in a defensive situation. As you said, they got to know what you know, for goodness sakes, that Sosa's a better shortstop than third baseman. Defensively, end game, you get Cody Clemens over at first base, move Bohm back to third, and then you're defensively
now
a little bit more intact than you are with Sosa.
But you're making Alec Bohm a Gold Glover.
No, but Alec is.
I think he's better than Edmundo Sosa.
He's played much better, I think, than he had prior. I think he feels a lot more comfortable defensively. It's pretty obvious that Edmundo Sosa is not their third baseman every day. Edmundo Sosa is a role player. When you start playing a player who is a role player every single day, then the warts come out. And when you see guys that can't necessarily do the things that an everyday baseball player can do, you have to be a really, really good baseball player to be an everyday player, and not everybody can do that. I think Edmundo Sosa is a guy that can move around the field and give you a quality at bats against a left-hander. When you start having to play him every day, these are some of the things that you'll see.
All right. We want blood from Rob Thomson here. We're not going to get it. You can't get blood from a stone. He's going to stick up for his guys as the Phillies are outscored. You understand that. Phillies outscored 36-11 in 3 games against the Dodgers. That's an average score of just about 12-4, for goodness sake. I rounded up for the Phillies on that 4. Let's hear from Rob Thomson postgame.
You had to feel like you built a little bit of momentum to start this road trip, and how do you feel now going home?
Yeah, you took it on the chin here the last 3 games. But you got to dust yourself off and get after it again after the off day. Hopefully, guys get some rest. Come back Friday against Boston and get on it again. Yeah, it was tough. It's a good ball club, but we had them today. And let it get away from them.
What's the sequence that you're going to be thinking about in the flight back from today's loss? A lot of kind of bad things happen at different times.
Yeah, it's baseball. I thought Sir Anthony, after the walk, he was up sac fly, and then he gets strikeouts, so he got out of that inning, still have the lead. Alvarado comes in, he gives up 2 ground ball base hits, and then Sosa just misplayed the ball at third base. If he gets out of that, we still got the lead. But even then, we come back in the top of the 9th and scratch a run across with 2 out in the 9th. So it tells you how tough these guys are and resilient they are. They keep fighting.
I didn't really. It was tough to see a replay on the Sosa ball. that's the ball he should have caught. But how did he kind of misplay that?
It just went off the end of his glove. I don't know whether it was knuckling or he lost it or what, but he felt, he felt terrible. So I didn't ask him about it at the time. So, but like I said, you got to dust yourself off and get after it. Right.
Do you feel like you gave too many extra bases as a result of the defense in the corners, and then also how much of an issue you think that is?
Well, there were some balls hit where we weren't playing too, and we couldn't get to him quick enough and get it in. But it's baseball.
And then Nola gets staked to a 5-run lead and kind of just he ends up getting charged with 4. Again, the velocity was a little lower. Like, what'd you make of his outing today?
I thought he grinded. I really did. He gave up the home run to Vargas, which I thought was a fly ball, and then blew it right out of here. But I thought he pitched really well without his top velocity. Curveball was good. He was landing it. His spot in his fastball. I think he threw a couple of comeback fastballs to the lefties. So I thought he was good.
Is Sosa as comfortable and fluid at third as he is at some of the other infield spots?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. His natural position is shortstop, so that's probably a little bit his best position. But he's comfortable third base.
Were you happy to see Bryce going feet first there at second base in the third inning?
Yeah, and then he didn't have time to get his guard on in the ninth. That scared me a little bit. Really, they should amend the rule to a certain degree to have superstar, anybody that has an issue with their guards or whatever, just give them extra time, have a feel for it, and so they're not going to injure themselves.
I even noticed that he was running the bases in ninth without the break.
Yeah, because he didn't have time, and Cassie had to call timeout, and he still didn't have time to get him on. So you want to waste a minute so you keep a superstar in the game.
He was on base 5 times today after yesterday. What do you make? What did you see today?
He had good at bats. Kind of blocked the ball off to left field, but 2 walks, solid base hit to left field, and then he got us going in the ninth.
Did Castellanos use his timeout in order for Bryce to get his elbow guard on?
Yeah, he saw him struggling with it, so he called the timeout, and then he still couldn't get it on, so he had to throw it to Paco.
Where do we're about a little more than a month in. Like, where do you make about where your pitching staff is as a whole, rotation, bullpen? You guys will have double-digit runs here in 3 straight games.
Yeah. Right now we're going through a little bit of a tough time, so we got to clean it up a little bit. No free passes, no extra bases. Got to play defense behind the guys too. So it's all a total package. So.
In the 8th inning, when there were runners on the corners with 1 out against Alvarado, were you guys conceding second base there where Vargas took second?
Yes.
And in retrospect, do you think that was the right call?
Yes.
Or just to
because anything can happen. Yeah, they can double steal, ball gets away. Catcher tries to be too quick, and Alvarado against Barnes, I'll take Alvarado every day of the week.
Rob Thomson, post-game at Dodger Stadium. Do you buy what he just said about allowing the runner to go to second base?
That's what teams do now. I don't think it's right, personally. That's the way I feel. It's very old school, but I trust my catchers to be able to make a decent throw. Alvarado does not hold runners all that well. Neither does Kimbrel, and that's part of the problem too. Is that when you start giving up bases, then it gives other teams opportunities to get more runs. You have the winning run at second base in scoring positions, just takes a base hit to win the game, and eventually those runs do score.
Ricky, both thoughts on it?
Oh, man, there's so many thoughts. I just look at it like this. If you are going to give up extra bases, you're going to let guys take extra bases, it's not helping your situation. I think you should always be aggressive, whether you're on offense or defense, especially, go after people. I'm sick of this, everybody does it, everybody lets guys go. No, I'm not into that.